Okay, man, Miss Russ is on to her third take for this one because she keeps forgetting stuff. I'm going to be teaching you how to use the 3D pens. We do have band practice going on in the background, but that is okay. All right, we're going to do cleanup at the very end, and I'm not going to forget this time like I did in my last video. Okay, so we're going to tilt you down, and this is where I'm going to kind of work. What we're going to do is all of us are going to start by experimenting and doing the same thing. So this is your 3D pen. You'll notice mine is already on and up to temperature. Once I plugged it in, then I would just go ahead and hit one of these buttons down here, and you'll see all of a sudden my temperature is going to start going up. We always keep it at 185, so don't worry about hitting these buttons. As far as speed, I keep it at speed 6, but if you prefer to go slower, you sure can. You just use this little toggle right here. It's kind of reverse of what you think it might be, but I keep it at 6. This area here is always hot, as is that point, so do not touch. Okay, lastly, you cannot use this resource unless you've turned in your signed signature sheet. So you'll have to check with Miss Russ. This is also not something that all students get to use, as there's a huge responsibility aspect because these are expensive and we have to take really good care of them. All right, so there's our band. We're all gonna start the exact same with making a box. So to do that, you just get it started. I push that button. And then once it's going, you just slowly move. I've got like a big clunky thing in there, but that's okay. We're just gonna let it be. You'll see that I can't go as slow as I could go with a mark or as fast as I could go with a marker. And for the most part, I keep the tip kind of angled so that the filament can come out. And sometimes you can even raise it up high, but then your line isn't as good. When you get to the end, you just hit the reverse button right there. Now that can be hard to toggle your thumb back and forth, so if you want, you can just use your other hand to hit it. These squares will feel slightly warm, and you do have to wait for them to feel totally cold before we try and remove it off the paper. So while that's going on, Miss Russ is going to find what she's already done. Okay, so we are going to make a box, which means we would need 6 of those pieces. So once you had drawn out 6, now obviously they can't touch each other and they've cooled, you're going to pull them off. This one is not quite cool enough, so it might bend on me. If you wait for it to cool, it won't bend. It will stay one big, solid, firm piece. Then to attach it to my other pieces, what you're going to start by doing is simply putting down one dot. Move this out of the way so you can see. One dot of filament. Get it nice and going, hit your reverse button, and then acting quickly, you take your other piece and you squeeze it in place, give it a second to cool, and then you just go on and you do another dot. So we'll do one more so you can see how that looks. So I put my filament in, reverse it, put it in place, give it a second to cool. Now, that seam right there, because this isn't that strong, I've just secured it with 2 spots. I recommend actually going in and filling in that seam. Miss Russ's is kind of messy, man. That's okay. Okay. You would then complete this whole box and you would show it to me. Once I see that you can successfully make a box, you are clear to start making your WOW project idea. When you do your WOW project idea, you'll notice I draw it out on this grid paper. And then something to keep in mind is if you're wanting to color your pieces, it's really hard to color the bumpy side, but you can color the flat side. So something to realize is that I can't do flat side to flat side because look, this flat side is reverse if I want the 2 bumps. So I would have to actually draw this car twice in reverse, right, if I wanted flat side to flat side. Otherwise, once you make your 2 pieces, then you can start to wonder, well, how do I put these together? So you'll notice you just have to include little bars. And sometimes you can do that with your plan. Like look at my windows. See, I just included little bars so that my windows had something to attach to. Other times you actually have to make the bar. And this grid paper can help with that too. So you'll see I made a bar right there. So I can pull this off And then just like I did before, I put down a little bit. We'll turn it this way so you can see. I put down a little bit of filament. Reverse it. And then acting quickly, I stick my bar in and then I give it time to kind of cool in place. This might be where I need a friend's help once it's time to attach these on top. I recommend putting the little ball on the actual piece here. Acting, ooh, gotta stop it. Acting quickly. Oh, not quick enough. Getting it in place. There you go. Now, I might need more help than that, right, to keep it all going. So I might even put more filament there, but that eventually would make my car. Okay. If you run out of filament, you'll know because all of a sudden it will make a weird sound and nothing will come out the other side. All you have to do is get our box of filament and then you just pull this out, pull an amount, a nice chunk, grab the scissors, cut it off, and then this just simply, here we'll pretend, don't do this because that would be sad. So we'll press it so you can see what the sound is. So any minute now it's gonna make a sound. There it goes. That means I'm out of filament. So all I have to do is stop it, get my filament, hold it on the end, and now press go. And I'm back in business. That's it. Okay, how to clean up. So first thing we do is we unplug like this, okay? Then we're gonna let that sit and we're gonna get the box. The filament has to go with the scissors back underneath and tucked away. Our box gets opened back up, and inside our box you are going to just take your 3D pen and you're going to carefully, we don't want to bend this, okay? We want to just carefully curve it into the space. Then we want to take the cord, we want to wrap it back up, and then this is a super important part. That spot might be hot, so we don't want our cord near that. So we're going to put our cord at the other end, close this down, make sure it closes, and then this goes underneath as well. 3D pens can definitely have a learning curve, but be patient and enjoy this absolutely fantastic supply. Happy art making! I didn't forget anything this time. Bye.